In a nutshell, the Game Boy has 4 sound channels, 2 square waves with adjustable duty, a programmable wavetable, and a noise generator. Each has some kind of frequency pitch control. This means you have only 4 instruments to work with. To me, this will be like the 2 duty channels are a guitar and a keyboard. The wave channel is the bass, and the noise channel the drums. So basically, music in GB Studio works with mod files that you can compose in a tracker. For a more in-depth explanation of how the hardware works, there are many great videos on YouTube. For how to specifically make music compatible with GB Studio, I highly recommend reading all the GB Studio Central articles with the music tag. BeatScribe has a great music lesson series there. I know a thing or two about music production. I have over 10 years of experience working on my own music and sound projects, from experimental ambient music to synthwave. I've also scored a couple of movies. In particular, composing music for slasher films gave me a lot of insight into how the score should blend into the scene while giving you cues and enhancing the storytelling without distracting you from the experience. The process consisted of listening to other film or game scores to get into the vibe, then getting my MIDI controller and improvising some stuff using a clean piano sound. If a composition sounded good on a piano or a MIDI sound, then it will sound great anywhere else. Using FL Studio, I saved my ideas and kept working on them until I felt satisfied listening to the song on a loop. I was very used to using DAWs like FL Studio based on a piano roll, so when I tried using tracker-based software like Milky Tracker, it felt like starting from zero again. I discovered that things sound different, be it in the tracker, GB Studio, the emulator, and finally, in a real Game Boy. So every time I made a change to a song, I listened to it at every stage of the pipeline to make sure I was satisfied with the result, no matter what device people will be playing the game on. Also, another very annoying thing to consider was that the tempo or speed will change noticeably in the tracker and the Game Boy. Updates in GB Studio versions also changed the way music was played, leading to some tracks like this one where the bass sounded less harsh and disturbing in the DX version of Pine Creek. I listened to a lot, and I mean a lot, of the Game Boy soundtracks, and let me tell you, while satisfied, I still consider my work to be quite inferior in terms of production quality to the classics. But oh well, it's basically just me doing almost everything without a budget, so I'm happy. Not only was GB music the inspiration, but classic slasher and horror scores, classical music, and some blatant 8-bit covers of Arabesque and Amazing Grace to give the game a touch of culture. There are basically 3 types of incidental music in the game: music themes, underscores, and stingers. The most important song in the game is the town theme. It was essential that the most recurrent musical loop wouldn't annoy the player, bore them, or be a distraction. After many attempts, the loop came to me while walking around the neighborhood, so I just opened my recording app and started humming the beat. Judith's theme was written while looking for something in the vein of Laura Palmer's theme from Twin Peaks. It also sets the tone of the game from the very start. Apricot City's theme is the most inspired by Pokémon and cities like Goldenrod and the casino. Listening to it should remind you that you are in a busy city full of entertainment. Underscores accompany the action and the narrative. They improve or set the mood. This is where understanding the technicalities of the Game Boy sound chip helps you make great sounding tracks that have an impact on the listener. Finally, the stingers are there as transitions that mark changes in tone and mood. Thank you for watching the second part of this series, and a huge thanks to our patrons for supporting this project. You're amazing! You can gain access to exclusive content and stay updated on everything I'm working on by becoming a patron. In our final video, we'll delve into publishing a Game Boy game. Until next time.